Ooh, ooh, coach, ooh. I thought that Grandma Lily wanted to move out to the country of her own volition. I thought that Grandma Lily wanted to leave behind that heritage property because God wasn't in it, or you felt that God wasn't in it, aka Tim wasn't in it. Ooh, I thought that you guys gave the Resurrection Ranch property to Grandma Lily out of the kindness and love for Grandma Lily, purely out of the kindness of your heart. Ooh, ooh, coach. Ooh, I thought that you guys signed over some sort of deed to Grandma Lily. Ooh, coach. Ooh, coach, I thought that Grandma Lily finally had her own homestead. Ooh, Tim, I thought that you guys were doing work on the Resurrection Ranch just because you were trying to love on Grandma Lily. Ooh, coach, ooh. I tried to look the other way like those heavy Tim supporters. I tried to look the other way when Grandma Lily had to wait for you guys to approve certain financial expenditures. When Grandma Lily had to wait for Megan to write checks for contractors. Ooh, Tim, ooh. Tim, I thought that Grandma Lily owned that house, even though she had to wait, even though she had picked out her own kitchen design, and even though she had to sit there in that Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever it was and have that disappointment, listening to you override her choices for her kitchen design. For some reason, I thought that, hey, I can still look the other way. I thought that it was still actually Grandma Lily's house. Ooh, Tim. Ooh. Tim, when you decided that you were only going to put flooring on half of Grandma Lily's house, half of her house will be finished. Actually, 30% of her house. But when you decided that you were only going to floor half of the house, when you decided that you were only going to complete 30% of the house, when you decided that it was somehow suitable for Grandma Lily to move in, I tried to look the other way like those heavy Tim supporters. But I'm seeing more and more Tim like, oh, Tim, oh. When Grandma Lily's furnace went out and she had to wait, she had to sleep in, sub-freezing temperatures. She had to pull out those space heaters. She had to wait for you to work your way over to her house. She had to wait for you to call those furnace contractors to get her furnace service. I tried to look the other way, coach. But ooh, coach, ooh, of late, the latest mishap, I guess, is with her hot water heater, coach. Ooh, coach, ooh, I want to look the other way, coach. I want to look the same way. I want to look the same way that your heavy Tim supporters look the other way. But coach, how is it that her hot water heater goes out and Grandma Lily has to heat up water on the stove? Ooh, coach. Ooh, how is it that she has to heat up hot water on the stove just like the olden days, coach? Ooh, coach. Ooh, what retired person moving out to the country, trying to enjoy their retirement, trying to enjoy this supposed homestead. What retired 70-year-old person wants to have to heat up water on the stove, coach? Ooh, coach. Ooh, I understand that she had to wait 3 days, coach. She had to wait for you to pick up the phone, coach. Ooh, coach. Oh, she had to wait for you to call the contractor, the hot water heater contractor, or the plumbing contractor, or the plumber. She had to wait for you, coach. Ooh, coach. Ooh, she had, even though she did not have hot water, and some people would consider that to be an emergency, coach, she had to wait for you to press them to give a quote. Like, ooh, coach. Ooh, it's an emergency, coach. Why does Grandma Lily, why does your mama, why does your homestead residing mama that you're so busy supposedly loving on, why does she have to wait 3 days to get some hot water in her mobile home? It's supposed to be Amazing Grace, coach. Oh, coach. Oh, how can it be amazing when she has to wait 3 days for you to drag your feet to contact these contractors, to contact the plumber. Ooh, coach. Ooh, why did she have to wait 3 days, coach? Coach, I've been trying my best. Based on the comments from a lot of your supporters, I've been trying to look the other way. But I'm like, ooh, coach. Ooh. But all right. All right. Before I get into my reaction to the recent Resurrection Ranch, the long-awaited Resurrection Ranch video, first I want to shout out you guys that have been active in the comments. Those of you guys that have been active both ways, keep that conversation flowing. Keep that dialogue going. Of course, I have to recognize you Ready Tim writers in the comments. I hear what you guys have been saying. I see what you guys have been saying. Captain, some captain you are. And they're like, Captain, all we hear from you is hate. All we see from you is you hating on our pastor. And they're like, Captain, the old saying goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm like, okay, all right. They're like, look the other way. If your coach, our pastor, if he wants to hustle, Captain, you should look the other way. They're like, Captain, just sit down, cover your eyes, cover your mouth, close your eyes, cover your ears, sit down and enjoy the show like the rest of us, Captain. I'm like, okay, all right. I hear you guys. I hear you guys. But you guys be wilding in the comments. But keep it coming. Keep it coming, y'all. In the meantime, I digress. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to review the recent Resurrection Ranch video where Tim talks about being addicted to the process. And I'm like, okay, coach, we're not going to get into that addiction discussion, okay? Because we're so busy talking about truths and mistruths and lies and white lies and tall tales. We're so busy talking about that. We're not going to get into any addiction type of issues. But I'm like, okay, coach, clearly you're addicted to the process. Clearly, coach, you started many processes. Clearly, you feel some type of gratification, some type of fulfillment in starting these various processes. Clearly, you find some type of joy in changing seasons at your whim, changing seasons at the drop of the hat. Clearly, there's some type of addiction to the process. We only wish that someday you would develop some type of conviction, some type of addiction to actually completion. How about addiction to completion? Forget about just working the process and moving on. How about working toward completion and then moving on? But I'm going to provide my reaction to that video here. Early in the video, Tim talks about, he informs us viewers that this season, this current season of Resurrection Ranch involves him revitalizing and establishing Grandma Lily's homestead. Her rental homestead, by the way. Tim is appearing more and more to be the landlord. Convince me otherwise. And so he's going about establishing Grandma's rental homestead. Now remember, Grandma Lily had to call him about the furnace, and Grandma Lily had to call him about this hot water heater. So convince me otherwise. She had to wait for landlord Tim to show up. Convince me otherwise. But Tim informs us that this season involves him establishing Grandma Lily's homestead. He implies that future seasons may involve him doing renovation on other people's property and renovating other people's campers, etc., etc. And so you folks that fell in love with the thought of this Resurrection Ranch documenting Grandma Lily's journey, you guys may have to fall out of love with that. Well, actually, Tim is telling you, don't get attached to it, because future seasons, okay, when he changes the page on this season of Resurrection Ranch, it's not going to be all about Amazing Grace anymore. He's going to move on to other projects, and he's going to put it under the title, put it under the heading of Resurrection Ranch. But it will be about resurrecting other people's ranches, and resurrecting other people's properties and other people's properties and projects. But of course, Tim is going to still maintain this channel with or without Grandma Lily's involvement. As long as he has you ready, Tim Riders, in the fold. As long as he has you ready, Tim Riders, fervently supporting him. As long as he has you heavy Tim supporters, riding heavy, riding deep for him. He's going to continue with this Resurrection Ranch channel. He's going to continue to try to gain that financial advantage. He's going to continue to try to enrich his pockets with this Resurrection Ranch. It just, as Tim is hinting, and you guys can rewind it, as Tim is hinting, going forward in the future, Resurrection Ranch will not be about Grandma Lily. It's going to be all about Tim and more Tim. And so those of you guys that can't seem to get enough of my coach Tim, y'all's Pastor Tim, he's got something in store for you guys. More and more of my coach.
And in this season of this channel, what we're doing is we're establishing this property here for my mom. We bought this property probably about 5 years ago, coming up on 5 years ago, something like that. And we bought this property debt free. And this property, as you all know, the ones of you all who have been around for a while, you know that this property didn't look anything like this when we first started. And we had to go back and watch some of the old videos. This is your first time viewing, but we took this property from a valley that was full of trees and junk and trash and all those type of things, and we turned it into a beautiful and amazing homestead. And it's still in the process of becoming that working homestead. We turned it into a beautiful and amazing homestead, and it's still in the process of becoming that working homestead, that working home, just a place of peace that it needs to become. And this is a beautiful thing. But that's our goal here. Our goal is, like I said, because you may see us restoring properties or renovating properties, renovating houses. You may see us like buying raw land and you know, taking that raw land and making something out of it. You may see us taking old campers. Or
later on in the video, Tim talks about viewers somehow getting the impression that Tim is not busy. Even though every time we turn around, he's sitting on his big old. As of late, he's laying on his big old. And for some reason, us viewers, we have gotten the impression that he is not busy. He talks about all these businesses that he has going. Of course, the one business that he keeps quiet is his rental business. The business that he has, employing his mama, Grandma Lily, as employee number one as Resurrection Ranch. He keeps that stuff quiet. But he talks about us having the impression that he's not busy. He talks about how he's so busy, and that even though he could install Grandma Lily's hot water heater himself, he's going to contract out the work. He decided to contract out the work, wait the 3 days, let Grandma Lily struggle, boil that hot water. How much and how many pots of hot water does it take to fill that big old raggedy old jacuzzi tub? How many pots does it take? But for some reason, my coach did not feel any sense of urgency because he's so busy. He said, we'll wait it out with the contractor before we get over to the site. He talks about how busy he is. Now, Tim, considering that you're addicted to the process, that is a number one reason why you should hire contractors on the regular. and not just hire them, but maintain them instead of firing them. Because unlike you being addicted merely to the process, you being addicted merely to starting projects and never finishing them, i.e. Ernest the Barn, i.e. Grandma Lily's flooring, i.e. Grandma Lily's house, i.e. Grandma Lily's Resurrection Ranch, i.e. Grandma Lily's chicken coop. Although you're addicted to merely starting the process, contractors, they're actually addicted to completing projects because that's how they get paid. They may get a certain portion up front. They may get a certain portion halfway through the project, but they don't get paid in full until they actually complete the project. And so therefore, Tim, you with your fascination on starting projects, it looks like you should actually defer more and more to these contractors who are actually addicted and committed to finishing these projects. Come on, coach.
And yeah, we got a lot of abundance going on around this way. But yeah, so we plan on putting in whole house mini splits here. And but the thing that we're here to do today is replace a hot water heater because a couple days ago her hot water heater went out, and I could do the job myself, but it's, you know, I just have to be wise because I have, you know, a few things going on. I'm not one of those people that likes to say like, I got all this stuff going on, I'm so busy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people may get the wrong impression and think that I'm not busy, because I'm extremely busy. You know, I'm not one of those people that likes to say like, I got all this stuff going on, I'm so busy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people may get the wrong impression and think that I'm not busy, because I'm extremely busy. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't like to like flaunt and brag about it, because I'm addicted to the grind. Like, I'm addicted to the grind. Like, I love the process. I'm not looking for the end goal. I'm looking for all of that stuff in between beginning and end. That's where I thrive at. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the beautiful parts go on it, as far as this process of taking something that's raw, desolate, abandoned, and making it something that has life again, or something in this case that can sustain life. Like, my mom is actually like living here. This place, this property. Like, my mom is actually like living here.
A bit later in the video, Tim admits that it's the Amazing Grace or the Resurrection Ranch is actually a rental property. And they want to be a blessing to Grandma Lily in the rental property. Okay, all right. And I'm like, okay, well, if she actually, that makes sense, because if she actually owned the property, then Tim, you would not have to be a blessing toward her as if she were a tenant. You would not have to bless her as if you were actually a landlord, Tim. Tim, we have eyes. Although the Ready Tim riders like to cover their eyes. We have eyes, Tim, and our eyes have seen. We're just glad to finally hear you admit that it's a rental property. And all of that makes sense. The fact that Grandma Lily had to wait for you guys to approve budgets. She's had to wait for you to contact the contractors, the plumbers, etc. All of that makes sense. I'm like, okay, now we get it. Even though some of us got it a long time ago. Now you admit it to the rest of us, Tim. I mean, landlord Tim. Oh, landlord Tim. Being a blessing to his mama, like any good landlord would do. Keeping your mama in the cold, and then keeping your mama washing up with some boiled water so that she can have a lukewarm bath. Come on, coach.
Stuff and make it happen. Get it out the mud, you know what I'm saying? As I heard somebody say one time, it's a difference between a leader and a dog. You know what I'm saying? A dog is like a leader to take it to the next level, and I'm a dog. You know, I got that dog in me. But anyway, so we're gonna get this hot water heater replaced, and we're gonna contract it out. And we kind of treat this property because we want to be a blessing to my mom. So we kind of treat this property kind of like a rental property, kind of. We kind of treat this property kind of like a rental property, kind of. And so anytime something breaks, we come down, get it fixed. Either we fix it ourselves or we try, Lord willing, to pay to get it fixed. And today we're gonna contract out this hot water heater being replaced. So let me just walk y'all in and show y'all what we're working with. And we have a crew on the way to replace this hot water heater because we can't have my mom going without hot water. We can't have my mom going without hot water.
A bit later in the video, Tim once again talks about their other mobile home and their other property at IAG Farms. He's talking, so he's at Resurrection Ranch, and he's talking about their other property, their other mobile home. Oh, even though you Ready Tim Riders thought that they gave that property to Grandma Lily, you thought that Grandma Lily owned that property. From time to time, Tim lets it slip. Okay, when he's being proud about being a business owner and he's being proud about being so busy, every once in a while he lets it slip that Resurrection Ranch is their other property and their other home. You Ready Tim Riders, turn around. The whole lot of you, turn around. Okay, so that Tim, your Pastor Tim, can go right down the line peeing on your backs. And it ain't a golden shower either, so don't get excited. Turn around so Tim can go about peeing on your backs. One by one, go right down the line. Y'all's pastor.
All right, y'all, so as y'all see, we have a little bit of water coming out of the hose pipe here. It's trickling out, and hopefully it'll get a little bit more rapid of a pace of it coming out. But if not, like I said, we'll just sit here until it all trickles out, because we had a hot water heat, this same type of hot water heater, same size and everything, replaced in our other mobile home on our other property on IAG Farms. Thing replaced in our other mobile home on our other property on IAG Farms. And it had so much rust built up in the bottom from, because it was, and that mobile home was a 2006, and so that 20 years old, something like that, and more like probably like 18 years old at this point. But yeah, it had so much rust built up in the bottom that it couldn't drain through the bottom, and so we had to like finagle it. And
near the end of the video, Tim talks about finally getting Grandma Lily fixed up. I don't know how getting hot water is getting fixed up. Some people would consider it to be a necessity. Some people would consider not having hot water to be an emergency. Oh my goodness. But he talks about getting her fixed up after the 3 days. Grandma Lily, she shares with us the fact that even though she has this disappointed look on her face, even though she's clearly thinking that, oh my goodness, what kind of disappointing son of a bitch did I raise? Even though you can see the disappointment on her face, she says, well, it's not like I haven't had to boil water in the past. Even though I'm retired, even though it's supposed to be amazing around this amazing grace, I have had to boil water in the past. I just didn't expect to have to return to this in my retirement days. And Tim, he's quick to talk about that heritage property that Grandma Lily was living at. And remember, Tim talked about how he didn't want to be there because God wasn't in it. And I'm like, okay, coach, all right. Now, even though you said God wasn't in it, okay, we know that meant that Tim wasn't in it, as in being persona non grata at that heritage property. So even though you say that God was not at that property, there's one thing that was clearly there at the property. And that's hot water, Tim. She had hot water. She could take hot baths. The furnace never went out. Come on, Tim.
So, Mom, you're gonna be fixed up by the end of today.
I'm so glad.
You better take a hot shower again.
I am.
What has it been? Two days, 3 days?
That seems like it's been more than that.
I guess
It's been about 3 days.
I got you because you called me the first day, and then I called them and then they set you on appointment for the next
Right.
day, and then they had to give you a quote, and then this is the day, the third day. So yeah.
Yep. So I've been having to boil water, y'all, but hey, I've been there and done that before, so no
That's
big
right.
deal.
Yeah. Well, we're knocking all the kinks out of this older home, and before you know it, it's gonna be a brand new home, a brand new hot water heater.
Oh man. But all right. That's it. That's it for my reaction to that recent Resurrection Ranch video about Tim being addicted to processing, not completing, but processing on these projects. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Continue to chop it up in the comments. Burner, Tim, and the heavies, I expect to see you guys in the comments as usual, doing what you do. Please continue to chop it up both ways. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.